Jill DeWitt with Jack Butala here.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome to today's member call.
It's Thursday. Thank you, Kathleen.
Happy Thursday. Hey, Kathleen. Hey, Michelle, where you been? Nice.
Hopefully doing deals.
Or traveling. I see Michelle.
You're incarcerated.
Yeah. That's so funny. So yes. Hopefully yes to the traveling, not being incarcerated.
Divorce court, yes, nice.
All of them. Oh, that's so good.
Let's jump right in, Jill. Let's take the first question.
Good deal. Oh, we have Pavan on the call too. Hi, Pavan. All right. So JT asks, we've been trying to download RealQuest. You know what's funny? Because JT and I communicated on this a little while ago.
There's a question before that, and I'll read it because it's actually a really good question.
Oh, okay. The Tim and Farron, I'm doing it in the wrong order. Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
Tim and Farron say, we just completed our 10th deal this week, and we have deals number 11 and 12 at the title company. You've often mentioned that, that there's a 10 deal benchmark. So now that we're there, what things in our business should we change? What should we do differently? First, you should need to buy a bottle of champagne.
Yes. That is number one. I agree.
In fact, maybe a case of champagne. So there's a case of 9 bottles in a case of champagne. So I've read about this. I don't know this from experience. And you should mark each bottle with the milestone. So like bottle 1 should be
10. Like deal 1.
Bottle 2 should
10.
be like $100,000 net. Bottle 3 should be, I don't know, quit your job. I don't know. But you have to decide for yourself what the milestones are. Okay. But that's the first thing I would do. Mm-hmm. The second thing I would do is say, all right, what do we do right and what do we do wrong? Where are the bottlenecks? That's what I always look for. Like if you have to say some version of this to yourself. So if we only had X, Y, and Z, we could do 30 deals a month instead of 10. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's an easier way to research property to say yes or no. Maybe it's an easier way to post property. Posting property has always been a problem for us. It just takes so long to post property. So whatever that bottleneck is for you, address it. And then you've clearly found good markets to mail in, and you've clearly priced property correctly. So those are the two major hurdles to get over. You've gotten over those. So I'm happy. If you send me an email, I'm happy to tell me what your bottlenecks are, or you can put it right here in the chat. I'll be happy to talk about it. But congratulations, regardless. It's awesome.
Good question. Now this with JT, we've actually been communicating on the side because we talked about this last week. So I'm questioning that there's a hiccup in the data you're pulling. Let me read it, and then I'll add more here. So JT says that we've been trying to download data and just the vacant land. And so we're putting in the 0 to 0 improvement percentage, but for some reason they found some counties that do have structures on them. They're both residential and commercial. We've tested this in several counties, calling RealQuest and no help. That was a week ago. Can you help us? Now I sent something to my person, just so you know, Jack, and I copied your comments, JT, and I put it in there. So if there is a RealQuest hiccup, we'll uncover it that way. But I have some other thoughts too. I mean, how many times are there things that people move something on a property and they didn't pull a permit or did something?
Well, I agree with you, Jill, and that's totally viable, but not numbers.
Not this many, and
not this many counties. Something's wrong. And frankly, I don't think it's RealQuest. So I'm happy now to step in. How many other people are having this issue, Jill?
Only JT's reached out to me.
Okay, so
maybe you guys should do a little exercise together and go through checking all the boxes and making sure we're not accidentally picking something that might be pulling this.
So what's the most appropriate way for them to schedule a call with me through Aaron?
No. How about, you know what? Do you want me to just
or should we do this personally?
Yeah, I have JT's email.
Okay.
Let's do this.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, JT, email me. You have my email, obviously.
We'll do a screenshot and I'll run through right on the screen for you. I'll run through how we do it on RealQuest and we'll figure it out.
We'll come to get to the bottom of it. So yeah, because I haven't had anybody else with this, so we'll figure it out. Okay, good deal. Now, Michelle asks, not really a question, but something I learned the hard way. I have 3 parcels in a county in Colorado. I made the mistake of not checking the parcel size RealQuest data gave me. Just found out today from a recent terms deal that the parcel is only 0.39 acres and not 1 acre, the 1 acre I got from the data. Also, there's a ditch running through a piece of another parcel that some guy has water rights. You would need a footbridge to cross it and get to the parcel. Can't get a hold of the guy.
I mean, these are all really normal issues with rural vacant property. And my canned response to every scenario like this is there's no way we can look at every single property. We expect, and I'm shocked, Michelle, that you even know about it yourself. So like Jill and I mean, I'm not sure how much I know how much we don't look into what these properties are like. But my canned response is that's why it's so cheap. It's not without flaws, let's say. Mm-hmm. So if you're trying to buy a property for $1,000 and sell it for $1 million, this is probably not the venue. But if you're trying to buy it for $1,000 and sell it for $5,000, which still seems like this is a pretty good deal, then I think this might be okay.
Mm-hmm. Good.
I wish I had a more data-driven answer.
Exactly. All right, now this is good. Okay, so Kathleen and Bill are both weighing in that they've had a few issues on this, so we're going to get to the bottom of it anyway. So we're going to do it two ways. A, I've already reached out to CoreLogic to see if there's something going on with them. And then B, Jack, you're going to cover it on our end and make sure everybody's pulling it the right way. Yeah. So you know what? So then what we'll have you do then, Jack, when you get to the bottom,
I'm going to film it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and we'll just share the video.
It for everybody. Yeah.
Okay. Put it on YouTube.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then we can all, you know what? How long has it been since we all watched chapter 5? I know for me personally, it's been a while. So, and do we probably need to brush up on things?
Right.
Yeah.
Me included.
So, thank you. Okay. So, let's see. Now, Brian asked, do you or any other members have referrals to attorneys and CPAs who are familiar with land investing? How would you recommend going about we go about finding the right people? It seems like it would be important to find people familiar with the industry. Any help is appreciated.
Yeah, it's so state specific, these issues. So the people that we have two sets of people, one in California and one in Arizona, both legal and financial. I guess the guy in Arizona does all of our financial stuff, but he files a California tax return. So really, it's so state specific, and even then, you're probably going to go through 2, 3, 4 people before you find the right one. So I wish I could give you a referral like my referral, but unless you're in Arizona, I mean, I can super help you in Arizona. I can't. It's really state specific, unfortunately. And then as far as legal advice goes, we use every time we have any type of legal issue. And when I say legal issue, I usually mean, and this refers to the bottleneck that Tim and Farron just said. Mm-hmm. When we have dead owner issues, we always ask the recorder, please give us the name of 2 or 3 lawyers that are really right in your little town there, right in your county seat town, that on a first name basis that can help us get this deal done. Right.
Or I've even just looked. I'm literally years ago I would look on a map some of these towns and I would find an attorney who is in proximity to the courthouse. And seriously, you think I'm kidding?
No, that's what I just said.
No, but not even ask the recorder because
just in that.
Yeah, I just map. Literally got a map out. No, I'm not.
I think you're kidding. Jeez, you sounded like my mom.
You gave me this funny look. I'm like, you're like,
I just got yelled at by my mom.
No, but you're like, gave me this look, and I'm like, no, I didn't even call the recorder because sometimes they're busy. Because someone go, I don't know, or I can't help you. We've all had those weird things. So I've literally got out a map. I'm like, all right, if this attorney is literally across the street from the courthouse, okay, I'm going to start there. And I've done that. So thank you very much. Okay. Uh-oh, Dad's on a diet. Just kidding.
What are you talking about?
I'm just kidding. All right. Kathleen says it may be that counties, when inputting the data, are assigning a dollar value to improvements rather than a percentage, and therefore leaving the percentage blank may yield a 0 improvement.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Could RealQuest provide a field called improvement value in addition to improvement percentage? Yeah. This would cover various ways counties input data.
Right. So here's the thing. Here's what happens. Jill and I were just talking about this like 2 days ago. So there's lots of companies like RealQuest and Black Knight, Agent Pro 24/7, TitlePro. There's like 3 or 4 companies out there. And they all hire, so they have to get data from County X in Texas, let's say, and they're all over the country. So what it comes down to is when it's not a sophisticated data pull, there's a guy local there that pulls all the data for him and gets it all, and he gets paid by all 3 or 4 companies. And so how the county, then it becomes, a round peg in a square hole. So if you've ever tried to analyze county data on your own, it's impossible. So RealQuest has the same problem. So the way that each assess, they have to put it in some bucket, right? Mm-hmm. And sometimes it doesn't fit. So this is really what I think is going on. There are ways to get around it, but there are a lot of times you're just going to have to say, you know what, this county is the way it is, and I'm going to either A, deal with it, or B, move to the next county. And what we do is move to the next county. But I will do a whole thing on this with whoever was initially having the problem, JT, and we'll do it, record it, and we'll solve it to the best of our ability. We'll get to the bottom of it one way or the other. The answer in the end,
know what it is.
The answer we might not like the answer, none of us, but we will get to the bottom of it and find out.
I mean, that's the reality here is, because remember, not all counties are even online. Some counties are still paper and books. So there could be human error, and the way they notate all their different things are different. I wish the zoning was the same for every county and every state, but it's not. They all have different zoning, numbers and categories and the way they do things, but none of it is nationwide consistent. So we do have to deal with some of these interesting things. So that's a good point. So thank you. All right. Farron asks, hee-haw, wanting to buy a come on down or buy a beach condo. Was thinking of using our ninja-like skills, as you should. We've learned here in the Land Academy, pulling all the owners in the condo, I love it, and mailing them all looking for, as Jill says, a situation. Would you have any tips for that kind of thing?
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
I mean, Jill and I do this stuff all the time. So I've actually done this. I take it like a condo high rise. You see them in Florida all the time. Not so much in California. Just mail every single one of them a letter, an offer for a price per square foot. A lot of times those buildings only have one or 2 layouts that are the same square footage, every single unit. Somebody's going to sell it.
You know what I do too? And something like specific as this, I would personally add a nice note like, look, I love this building. I love this area. I love the beach. I love whatever. This is where I want to retire, kind of thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and saying, hey, and so let me know. And because I did this, remember my vacation thing, a year and a half ago, and it totally worked. And I added in there too, here's what I'm willing to pay, for this month. And P.S., let me know quickly, because you're not the only one I'm hitting up, kind of thing, up and down the beach. And A, it was being truthful. B, if they talked, because they might talk about this too if they all get the same letter. Yeah. And then C, it might spark a little excitement. Like, hey, sweetheart, just so you know, I'm sure we're one of 50 people in this building that got this letter. Do we want to act on this? Yeah,
we want to be the first one. So here's another thing about exactly what we were talking, because Jill and I do this all the time, not specifically with condos, but we call it micro mailers. We looked at it, I think it was the last weekly call, or the one before that, where you find little clusters. Well, a condo building or a beach scenario is by nature, it's just a little cluster. So please don't expect to double your money on that by any stretch. I mean, here's a real example here in one area in Los Angeles. Beachfront land, if you can find it, is $4 to $6 million just for the lot. And if it's got a structure on it, which is usually less convenient, it's better that it's just land. It's not going to really increase the value. It's $4 to $6 million, pretty much for a tear down. So you don't offer $2 million for that. You offer $3.9 million cash, and you hope to get $100,000 or $200,000 out of it pretty much that week or 2 weeks from there. Because everybody kind of drops what they're doing at that point, and they get the deal closed.
Right.
And we have a financial partner that we do this kind of stuff with. So they're jumping up and down to make 100 to 200,000. We make 100 grand on it, and they make, I don't know, a little bit more, usually sometimes a lot more, $500,000. But those are the kinds of deals that you can expect. It's not a buy it for $2 million and sell it for $4 million by any stretch. If you expect to do that, you're going to probably get lawsuits. I mean, they don't have a leg to stand on, but people just like to call their attorney when they're mad and say, sue this guy.
I know.
Have realistic expectations. That's my point.
Yeah, because this also too sounds like, when it's emotional, not financial, we're all willing to pay a little more, and that's okay. But we still want to get a good deal, and you can smoke that out.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's great. And and the nice thing too, Farron, is that this kind of thing, I would sit the letters out there and just sit and wait. What if it takes 6 months? I don't care. We'll eventually get our place in the building we want. Done.
The more mail you send out, the more you're going to buy. I know that's a Captain Obvious situation, but more and more people, like Thursday is my day for calls, for deal review and data review calls. So I've been doing them all day. And I've done 2 or 3 calls, just like the one that Tim and Farron asked. We need to scale it up. I want to be Luke Smith. We did a bunch of deals now. We know it works. My father-in-law is now an investor because he sees that it works. He's actually getting excited about it. I just had a talk with somebody just like that. They said that exact sentence. Totally didn't believe it in the beginning. Now we did 9 deals and we made about $35,000. I'm ready to quit my job almost, that kind of stuff. So what do you do? And the answer is send more mail out. So if you expect to buy a property, sending out 300 letters, I would question that.
Good. Thank you. All right. Brian asks, I would like to offer seller financing to buyers. I generally can close transactions as they are simple, but I've been advised to use an attorney, title company, or loan servicing company to serve as a trustee for the grant deed, who will reconvey the title when the loan is finished being serviced. In other words, I need a third party to serve as my trustee on my seller finance deals. Having a hard time finding someone to do this without also having them do escrow or loan servicing.
Ding, ding.
How important is having a third party for this? And I'm wondering what other group members are doing this.
Jill, time me.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, go.
There are 2 ways to do a seller transaction, seller finance transaction: a deed of trust, which is what you're describing, and a contract deed, or just a contract. We all did the latter here. Whoever you spoke with said, do a deed of trust scenario, which is what you do with a mortgage. It's structured. You'd actually like a mortgage on your house. Here's the problem. It all sounds beautiful the way you typed it in there, Brian, by the way. Congratulations. It really does sound good. 6 months down the road, when the person stops paying, it's going to cost you at least $1,200 to undo the deal, and probably take 60 to 90 days. Not to mention $800 to $1,200 to close a deal that you're only going to collect a few. So believe me, I learned this the hard way. Check with local laws and try to do it on just a contract basis, which means the property's in your name until the final payment. The other way, the property's in their name until the final payment. You choose.
I know what I choose. That was awesome.
But check with local laws. It's not legal everywhere.
Awesome. Greg asks, I'm closing on my first deal in about 30 to 40 days and used a financial partner to purchase it. We are selling it through a realtor who sells a lot of land in the area because he helped me make a quick decision on it. We're hoping to double our money after expenses in a short time, so we're listing it towards the bottom of retail to sell fast. It's 557 acres that will list for $1,200. I'm assuming per acre. For future deals, should we stay with the realtor to help sell since my financial partners like that idea, or is that just, is it selling out? Can I comment?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I need a break.
Yeah. Some realtors are good and they really earn their money, and some I question. And I'm wondering on some of these deals, why you want to share that much money with a realtor. I don't know. I guess my question is, what value do they bring? So if there's a realtor that they have a great book of business and they really are out there killing it and they're doing, you know what I mean? This person earns every penny of their money. We all know it. I'm good with that. But if you just feel like it, or your financial partner feels like we can't do deals without it, well, hold on a moment. Yeah, you can. I remember learning when I was a kid, FSBO, you could put a sign and people still do it, sign in their front yard. I don't have to go through a lender. I can put a sign in my front yard, do the paperwork myself. I don't have to have a realtor, even if it's a $500,000 transaction, I don't have to.
Well, it seems to me, and I've spoken with Greg about this in the past, these financial people that he has behind him, for some reason, listing on the MLS, they see some value in that. And if it's working like this and you guys are doubling your money, I mean, none of us need to do the math at $1,200 per acre times 500 is a truck ton of money.
Right.
And so if you want to repeat that and your sellers, your finance guys want you to use a broker, then do it. I would say this, try to do a non-exclusive deal with the broker, where you can bring a buyer in somewhere else. Maybe it's one of us. And
then if you sell it, then you have to pay the commission.
Yes. Yeah. Agents usually don't.
They don't want to do that.
But it's worth a try.
What if you even talk to your investors and say, hey guys, let me try to sell this one. We've done 6 this way. Let me try to sell this one. And let's all keep the commissions in our pockets and see how that goes.
All of that being said,
and test it.
I would not mess with the recipe. If you have a good recipe going and you got an agent who loves you and now they respect you and they're going to work for you,
that's what I said.
Then I'd just keep them in place and or him or her.
I agree. We all know if they're worth it and are not really, really, really fast.
Right.
So cool.
Hopefully they're like a land-only ranch agent or something.
Mm-hmm. Jean, who wrote us a nice little personal comment that I really, really appreciate. Thank you, Jean, because we did hit 500 shows. Holy moly.
It's amazing.
I know. So thank you very much. And I'm watching the other thing too. It's kind of funny. So Jean asked, in previous week's calls as well as on the podcast, the issue of determining price and competition within the group, like undercutting each other, has come up. Just wondering if you guys have ever contemplated using your influence with the industry. Ooh, I like this. Industry to simply set the sales prices for a given acreage in a given market in the same way OPEC influences prices with their industry.
I wish we were that big.
Wow, wouldn't that be cool?
I wish we were that big.
The Jack and Jill pricing index.
Unfortunately, I don't. I mean, if all of us got together and gave it our A game, I don't think we'd be large enough unless we cornered like one market. Joe and I there's two situations where we changed the line. We moved the betting line, so to speak, in 2 different places in 2 different states, and actually different decades too. And we didn't move the line much, but we did start to reset and increase the price for what properties we're selling.
Yeah.
But bear in mind, when you buy a property and then you sell it, it's the same property. So there's 2 comparison values there. So it's a strange mathematical situation. You have the buy side comp and the sell side comp for the same piece of property. Then the average comp would be right in the middle. Mm-hmm. So it moves up, but not, you know what I mean?
Right.
I hope you know what I mean.
Exactly. All right. Marilyn. Oh, I think Marilyn is new with us here. Good stuff. Hi, Marilyn. Yep. Just joined this week and I'm looking forward to my new journey. You two are awesome. Thank you. Thank you for all the work and the energy you have put into all of this. My question, what's the difference between TitlePro and RealQuest? I get TitlePro has the awesome data for mailers and research. In basic terms, what is the difference between the two? If this is answering the material, just let me know which chapter to go to. I don't want to waste your time. Never waste a time. Thank you for saying that. So really, Marilyn, for the pulling the data and the scrub and the front end work, it's RealQuest that we use. There are some parameters, some things like we're talking about this improved percentage. We need that value. And when we pull our data, because we're trying to find things, without a property, or maybe we are looking for things with a property on it, but we don't want an assessed value really high. But it's really the improvement percentage. Anyway, that is why we use RealQuest Pro for that. I now TitlePro, we were happily sailing along with just that. Well,
We've never really used TitlePro
for mailers.
For mailers, that's correct. We've only ever used it for detailed property reports because I think they have a slight edge over the quality in RealQuest.
Right.
But for mailer data, I personally have never used TitlePro.
Right.
Have you, Joe?
No, not at all. So you'll use RealQuest on the beginning part. And then what I love, Marilyn, is when the people are calling me back. Now I'm doing my due diligence. That's when I jump into TitlePro. And I can real quick, pop in the APN, even when I have the people on the phone, and get a quick idea, confirm ownership because I'm staring at it, who owns it, and I can see the property. And then if I want to do more research, I can do that later on and pull a property report, and I can see documents there. And here's what's interesting. CoreLogic is now upping their game and adding, I don't know, it's a crazy amount of documents that they're now going back and adding back in.
Billions of documents.
Because they used to only have the vesting deed, the last recorded deed. So we would use TitlePro because I want to go back beyond the last recorded deed kind of thing. I want to see the last 30 years. I don't want to see the last 5 because that's all this guy owned the property for kind of thing. So that's why we would use the other product. And you can go back and it's really good. TitlePro, I can see, say if I'm doing, a home, I can see mortgage documents. I mean, I can see the actual documents. There's all kinds of great stuff that's in there. So that's the value. So
yeah,
good stuff. All right. When you hit chapter 5, you'll learn all about RealQuest. So pro. All right. Brandon asks, I've tried to pull foreclosure data on homes on RealQuest and it says I do not have access. I called RealQuest and they said that no one inside of Land Academy has access to it. I thought we did. How am I going to access the data?
We do not have RealQuest. No person that has RealQuest Pro, regardless of they get it through Land Academy or anybody else, has access to the RealQuest foreclosure data. It's an entirely different product. RealQuest Pro is real property data, assessor data, and a bunch of other related property reports. They just released access to a lien report, which is pretty kick-ass if you want to go check it out. It costs money to download. It's not a lot, but it costs a couple bucks to download a lien report on any given property. It'll show you the mortgage and the whole thing. But foreclosure property, like house foreclosures, it's never been part of RealQuest Pro ever, regardless of where you get RealQuest Pro. Jill and I are diligently working on throwing a new product into the mix that I can't name yet because they won't let us. That does contain that for the same price. It's price included kind of thing.
I'm wondering if there's some of this in TitlePro 24/7.
There might be.
I know, because I haven't really played with that looking for that data, Brandon. But there's a lot of interesting things in Title. So I would say go play around with that.
I mean, if you want to buy houses, then that's why you need it. If you don't, we are releasing before the end of the year, the SFR program, the residential, Land Academy way of buying and selling, wholesaling houses, and all of that foreclosure data and stuff will be included in all that.
So yeah, I have some questions. Hang on, I'm looking at one real thing quick. I was looking at, all right, I'm assuming, Brandon, you're doing the map search and you can see that pre-foreclosure stuff is there that pops up on the map search, but I'm guessing we can't access that. So let me know. So, all right. Dan Wyman, hello. Dan says, I really need organizational help. Is there anything in the works to help set up systems? Jack?
Take a look at your screen. This, I hope, will help you and everybody else. This is an anatomy of a deal. So each step of the way, you have to figure out, and many, many, many of the people on this call and the people who are super successful who don't even come to the call anymore have already done this for themselves in some way. Some use spreadsheets, some use canned database scenarios. We do a mixture of a lot of stuff, CRMs, custom CRM and stuff. But it all comes down to this timeline. You identify an asset that you want to purchase, let's say land. You identify an area you want to send letters to. You get the right data. Is this sounding familiar? You get it out in the mail, you price it, and you get it out in the mail, and you start fielding calls and offers and things like that. You need to have a mechanism of research to yes or no, I do want to buy the property, or I don't. And then you buy the ones that you like, close the deal, prepare it to sell, and sell it and close that deal. Am I grossly oversimplifying? Yes. But each step of the way, you could quite simply just use this spreadsheet and start putting notes, taking columns out. I mean, that's how I start. When I started, that's what I did. I literally started it in Lotus, which is a popular spreadsheet before Excel. So I know it seems like all at once, but really all you got to do is just concentrate on the step that's right in front of you and move forward that way.
And talk about a huge secret that Jack is sharing from this is the result. This sheet that you are all seeing right now was a result of our meeting yesterday. We had a 2-hour meeting kind of mapping out what we're going to get done between now and the end of the year. So everyone, this is what we're looking at. So it's out there.
What'll happen
you see Newco, things that are coming.
Here's the rest of the spreadsheet. I actually deleted it, but there's silver, gold, and platinum. At platinum level, and many of you will be there by the time we release all this. All you will do is what's in red. You'll just identify an asset. Well, here's how hard it is to identify an asset. I want to sell land, not houses, or vice versa. I want to do it in Florida, not Arizona. Okay, that's how much time that took. And then all these tools, you'll just be on the phone with our staff, having us, where our people close your deals, do your mail merge, and I'll do the engineering for you, post it on the internet for you all over the place. You won't have to do anything except decide where you want to send the next mailer out and price it. Those two things. And then close it. You won't even have to close the deal. You'll just have to talk to the seller to say, you want to buy it for 20 grand? Yes, I'm willing to sell it for 20 grand. Done. And then you input it into a website and we do the rest. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry to say these things are not available yet, but we really are. Like I was telling Jill yesterday, she's the single hardest working person I've ever worked with, ever, even in public accounting. So it's not because we're sitting around doing nothing. We had no idea when we started this, there's this pent up, unaddressed demand for these products.
Yeah.
So we're trying to kick them out as fast as we can. And we're trying to hire people to do it.
Exactly. Yeah, I got 2 right now. I'm trying to get a 3rd person.
Right.
So, yeah. Cool. Good question, Dan. Peter, hi. Okay, if I stay on the contract when seller financing, do I need to worry about having an insurance policy for liability in case the buyer does something silly like hurt themselves on the land I own until they pay it off?
This comes up once in a while, and it's a very good question. And here's how Jill and I have addressed it since the 90s. We have insurance that any regular company would have, errors and omissions insurance, and just general liability insurance that comes with most operating LLCs. We don't have trip and fall insurance specifically on each property. And that seems to have gone very, very well so far.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
Some people are insurance freaks. Some people in this group are insurance freaks, and they have insurance on every property. It's still incredibly cheap.
Can I make someone sign a waiver or sign something if they want to do that too, just to cover my rear?
Yeah.
I could do that. Okay. Farron asks, how are you guys coming along? On CRM software? Most others out there are really clunky.
Boy, I agree with that. Ours is 10 times more clunky than the least clunkiest out there, which is why we haven't released it.
Yeah.
Ours is, I spent
really
$250,000 on the one that we use now. And if you went into it, you would laugh.
Oh my
Kind of looks like RealQuest.
It kind of does. It's like, at least it has more than, 2 colors.
And I will be super straight with you. Of all the products that we're going to release, the CRM is dead last.
Yeah.
It is incredibly complicated. And, you could get away with it. Pretty high level away with it with just Outlook, a version of just Outlook. Outlook's a fantastic CRM. You can develop just Outlook.
Yeah.
And attach some spreadsheets and stuff as variables. It's not the greatest thing around, but it works.
Exactly. All right. So Tomas asks, I found a pocket of subdivided 1/4 acre lots. Some big player bought about 25% of 100 lots for $3,000 back in 2011. The county land value is $4,000 he has them listed for $25,000 for over 2 years. I see a lot of other lots listed for as low as $3,000. What should I offer for these lots? The search engine gives me county records and
Good.
IDX
Great.
feed. Got it. I can sort the list every way possible to find all kinds of patterns, but it gives me a headache. But at least I can see what's going on in the area. Nice.
If there's a ton of property in one little subdivision for sale, I would run the other way. That's just me. But so if you can buy these properties for $500 to $1,000 and they're listed for, $3,000, that might be a great way. I also, if there's an HOA, I would go straight to the HOA and see if you can
Bingo.
See if you can buy them right from them.
Bingo. That's the play.
In the end, the short answer to this question is, without not having all the information, if you can get them super cheap, they're going to sell.
Brilliant.
I hate to be Captain Obvious. I wish I had brilliant answers for stuff.
That was good. No, go to the HOA. That's my favorite. They take them in. They don't want to take them in. They have to take them in. So cool. Kelly asks, would you guys, we've thought about this, ever consider having an app that works like Redfin?
Yeah.
But specifically for Atlantic County members?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
We're working on that, actually.
We did a trade. We have an app out there right now, which we traded some products for. And we're all about that, by the way. So if anybody knows anybody.
So what would the app do? The app would probably just say,
I would totally trade stuff for that.
The app would make it easy. Make your life easier somehow. So Kelly, email me or let me know. I have a lot of thoughts about that.
Yeah. Bill asks, hello, my first mailer has been a hit. Out of 1,200 offers, 6 signed offers so far and about 50 calls with lots of people wanting to sell. Awesome. Most are in one subdivision with 4,000 lots. My mailer was $400 an acre. The association has 120 for sale. Perfect. With another 100 that's getting foreclosed on at the end of August. The association said I can buy them in bulk for $300 an acre. This is
beautiful.
Good stuff. And most lots are 2 to 5 acres. I love it. The association sold 28 last year with no marketing. There are some listed with other sellers on Land and Farm, Land Watch for $3,000 to $6,000 a lot, but they don't move fast. My question is it bad to buy a bunch? And I don't care if I sell them because there's so many. Thanks.
No, it's not bad to buy a bunch. I mean, I would try to buy property in this situation for $500 or less and sell them for $1,000 and just print money as long as you can until it stops while you're developing other markets. Yeah,
just quickly double your money and get out.
Right.
I love it. That's good stuff. Kelly says, while Jack is building all the other databases, right? Exactly.
Thank you for understanding.
Yeah. David is asking about July, and it's coming. That's part of my 3 staff I'm hiring right now too. I've uncovered an additional need for manpower. This is involved product.
We thought these SaaS model databases and products would run themselves, and they don't. There's stuff that always comes up, and nobody wants Joe Live to happen more than us.
Exactly.
It's our number one request that we get.
I could just flip a switch, but I want to be cheap and I want to be good.
Right.
So I'm getting closer though. So I don't have a date for you, David. I'm sorry. Steve asked, so from the spreadsheet you just had up, that bring up another comparison. TitlePro or ParcelFact for property research, what are the differences? Well, I'll tell you. ParcelFact is awesome, quick research for just the current ownership information, but all the quadrants of the whole property outlined. Those things are priceless. I wish I had that years ago. TitlePro is good for, I'm like a title agent now. So here's what I do personally, Steve. I go right away to ParcelFact. It's that's really my number one thing. I go there. I can quickly see the whole property. I can see where it does hit the road or how far it is away from the road, not just the center point, because in TitlePro it's just a center point. I have the whole thing. I can see the current ownership information. I can see zoning, the legal, all kinds of things right there at my fingertips. So that's number one. So it's going to pass right there. I'm going to make a decision usually. But if I need to do more work, then I'm going to go into TitlePro. If I really want to look back, 30 years, I need to see, because in ParcelFact, I think I can see the date that it was recorded. I know I can. But say it was recorded last year. Well, then I'm going to go back to TitlePro and I want to see what happened the years before last year. That's where I'm going to jump into that.
Here's the deal. I mean, look at this.
Okay.
Here's the center point for this property on the screen in everywhere else. Okay. And while it's pretty obvious here what property this is, for rural properties on ParcelFact.
Oh, we're not seeing that page. I'm sorry, Jack. We're still seeing the, hang on. Oh. There we go. Okay. Now show us again.
So see this point? Well, it's pretty obvious because this is an urban property. Take a look at some more rural property. So you don't really know where the property is, or if it's close to a road or whatever, and it's not as publishable as it could be. If you pull this property up in ParcelFact, it gives you a really detailed, so for people who are turning a bunch of properties, ParcelFact is the answer.
Mm-hmm. See on the screen all the 3 display things. You can see all of them and you can tell if it's right where it is.
Exactly.
So I mean,
this is extremely important information versus just seeing a dot right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can see if it's got road access and the whole thing. When you're brand spanking new, do you need it? No, probably not. You should just use a free version and actually see if you need it for sure. But $100 a month is for unlimited pulls. If you've got multiple phone calls coming in a day, and it's a place where you can go in milliseconds, type in an APN. You don't have to have an address, and really find out exactly where the property is and whether or not you want to buy it. If the answer is yes, close the deal. If the answer is no, it's no for good kind of thing. It's not like, oh man, I really think I do want to buy it. I don't know if it hits the road or not, but I'll get back to you.
Mm-hmm.
It takes that away, and that's why we developed it. We use it every single day.
I do. You know what? You have 2 days or in a row of, doggone it, I just spent 3 hours and I can't find the dumb thing. Then you go, you know what? That's worth it. Because that's happened to us.
TitlePro has no version of that. The vast majorities of the property don't even get a center point.
Right.
But don't take my word for it. Check it out because you have a subscription to it.
Yep. Michael says, I'm new to the group. Welcome. I spent last weekend going through the CFFL program. Nice. So did you get anything else done last weekend? I made it to chapter 8. Woo, that was really good. Okay. Purchasing through an option contract got my attention. Could you go into detail on the process? When you mail, do you still send a purchase agreement? How does closing the deal work? You want me to do that? Okay. So here's an option. Now, when you're new, I don't recommend this. And I don't recommend your whole inventory being option agreements. So I use an option. I usually send out my normal offer. Everything's no changes. And what happens is I will decide to do an option when 1 or 2 things happen. 1, I'm out of money. I spent all my acquisition funds and I really like the property and I really think I can sell it fast. And I'll tell the guy, look, I'll get you your $6,000. I need a couple weeks. Will you mind if I market it? And I send him a 1-page agreement. It's really easy. And he signs his heck yeah, I'll sit tight, not in that big of a hurry kind of thing. And then I go out and try to sell it. So that's one. The other way is, I like the property, but I've offered the guy, I offer him $9,000 and he wants 12, and I think it's worth 15. or 18, whatever. So, for $9,000, I'd give it to him right now. 12, I'm not so happy with, but it's still worth my while. So I might decide, and I don't want to spend all my time on this because it can be a headache keeping track of them. I don't want someone to have all their 10 properties or options properties. It's hard to do that, and it's not as fun as good. So, but there's every now and then I would have one that I'd say, all right, here's what we'll do, Mr. Smith. I know you really want 12,000, so here's what we'll do. I'll go try it. Can I have 90 days and I'll see if I can get you your 12,000? And often they'll say yes and have them sign the thing. And then I go out and try to do it. And I might get a good price. I might not. And I don't mind because I didn't lay out any money. For 9, I would have taken and run. I was really happy with that. For 12, so I just rolled into my inventory and see what happens. Do you want to add to that?
No, it was perfectly well said.
Okay, thank you very much. Brandon asks, there's a okay, good. Okay, there's a tab in RealQuest Pro that says foreclosure. I just clicked on that and put in a state and county, and then checked recorded within the last 4 weeks, and then hit submit. And yes, I was looking for houses. I was telling a friend of mine that flips a few houses a month. I was telling him how awesome RealQuest was, and they can get foreclosure data, but it didn't work. I told my friend to get back to him. Should I pursue this?
The next product that we release that'll be included in this, all the levels of the membership, including silver, will have a tremendous amount of foreclosure data included. So while we can approach we should do both, Jill.
Yeah, Brandon, will you please send me a personal email to my Jill@landinvestors.com with this information? And I know right now my main guy is out of town until the 31st, so he'll be back next week. So just so you know, it'll take a couple days to get an answer from him. But heck, I'll see how much it costs to turn that on.
I'll tell you why. Here's the truth about foreclosure data. I've mailed for houses in Arizona during the last downturn. I've mailed a ton of foreclosure specific mailers, and the same thing happens with back tax mailers. You get a lot of responses and a lot of stuff goes on, and you start to dig into it and find out there's a lot of problems. Now you're buying it from a bank. So those aren't the people that you want to talk to buy a house. It's the same thing, same basic principles that we teach here at Land Academy. If it has a lot of back taxes on it, it's not going to work. Or it might work for somebody, but it doesn't work for us. I'll say that. You really don't want to be sending mail or talking to people in foreclosure situation. They have bigger problems than their house. That's what I think.
That's true.
That's really why I haven't focused on it. Luck would have it, though. It's a pretty easy phone call for Jill to have them included now because we're pulling so much data. Mm-hmm. And this new product that we're going to launch is that we're going to include in the roster of stuff. Mm-hmm. So,
there's people. Here's the reality too. There's people that use our data that I don't necessarily think are doing it the right way. Because they're just they're just here for the data. I don't really care. But I'm happy to provide tools for them for whatever they want to use it for. That's there. If I help them, great. But they're just happy with the data, then that's fine too. So, yeah, cool. Greg asked just some follow-up on the previous question. This property will sell as hunting land. The realtor will put out corn and game cameras in 5 spots and capture you've got to be kidding me. Okay, wait, I gotta reread this here. Wait a minute. Okay, just some follow-up on the previous question. This property will sell as hunting land. The realtor will put out corn and game cameras in 5 spots and capture the big bucks and wildlife. He will also do drone pictures and video and give people tours of the property with his UTV.
Well, this guy's earning his fee.
Wow. So, yeah, I think he will earn his fee. See, that's the kind of person I'm good with, especially because he helped make a quick decision on the property for my first deal. All right, Greg, now I'm in. So we feel good about using him on this one because we do not have time to do all that right now. I am obligated use him on this one, but we can do whatever we want on future deals. Man, if this guy sells it quicker because of his efforts, he's earning it. I like him. My plan is to go after more of these big properties because I have financial guys who are interested in that. I bought this on the last day of an expiring listing. Wow. So I'm trying to figure out how to price my first mailer on these larger properties. Nice. So that's good.
I'd say stick with it. That sounds great. Like a great band, like the drummer's doing what they're supposed to do. The money guy's supposed to be doing what he's doing, and you're doing what you're doing.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I have not known someone that would really go to that much, and so I appreciate that. Jack, a guy named Howard Zonder, I've heard of that name.
Podio, yeah.
Has developed, a CRM under Podio. I'm in the process of onboarding it. It's a pretty nice. I would bet he would license it to you. He's a successful land investor who kind of blends. All right. Yeah.
Send me his stuff, please.
Why do I know his name?
I don't either.
No,
Podio
I
is a
do.
very customizable CRM, and I've always wondered why. We started down that path, but please, at my email is jack@landinvestors. Please, send that to me, and I would love to talk about licensing that.
Yeah.
As long as it's expandable and a little bit customizable, we can change it as we go.
Yeah.
That would save me a lot of time and energy.
Yes, please connect us. That would be cool. Will Jill Live also be able to service calls, not just sellers? Service sales calls. Yeah, you know what? We talked about that. That's something that I could direct them back to your website, or maybe they can go on the website and answer basic questions. That is... Well,
they answer the phone. So, right. I mean, if your grandmother calls that phone number, they're going to answer it and talk to her.
So here's the issue. I can do this stuff. I can totally do this stuff. The question is, how much do we want to keep them on the phone? It's the time that it takes that gets expensive. It's not just picking up the phone. It's picking up the phone and the clock starts ticking. So, but you know what? The nice thing about that, David, is we could always test it. And then if it gets too expensive, we turn it off. I can tell my team, and I could do it based on the user too. Because I've done this with some of the phases in the test that I've run through. I'll give you an example. I had my team doing all the people answering the phone. As I'm working on this, I'm doing everything. I quickly realized this is going to get expensive because I was having them, especially with the sellers, really extract a ton of information. And I quickly went, all right, we don't need that much information. So I started scaling it down to get to a decent amount of information where I can assess it, get enough that I can decide if I want to call them back or not, basically, and not cost a lot of money on the phone. So I'm working out those details, and I appreciate that. Do you want to add anything?
No, that's perfect. That's your baby.
Okay. Z970 asked, is ParcelFact unlimited, or is it limited to a maximum number of APN searches per month?
ParcelFact is unlimited number of searches per month, human searches. So you can't just set a computer up. Nobody in this group would do that anyway.
Right.
So it is unlimited, but I mean, in reality, it's the box is checked at 10,000 per month. But if you had to go over that, there's no issue with that. I mean, just let me know and I'll change the box. No one's even come close yet.
Mm-hmm. All right, David still loves it. Not in for the money. Why not charge per pull?
I mean, I'm not going to answer that. This is the cheapest by leaps and bounds for what you get. I'm talking to this new company that we're going to sign on, and it's another extremely name brand, respectable data set and program, just like RealQuest and CoreLogic. I mean, Black Knight, Agent Pro. They're as respectable as that. And they sent me remember, Joe, on that call? They sent us their face rate sheet, and we both fell over. Mm-hmm. To get the data that you guys have access to for $250 a month. Mm-hmm. It costs $13,000 a month.
Ridiculous how much they want.
28 cents a record, and it was ridiculous. Pull the data reports. Now we're negotiating. The deal that we're going to negotiate is that it'll be wildly less expensive. But if you went in
on your
off
own,
the street, that's what you get charged.
It was
and attorneys and stuff are paying that. So I don't want to talk about cheaper products anymore. Mm-hmm. We should be charging a lot more.
It's true. All right. Dan says, where can I find the organizational spreadsheet?
I will send it to you.
Is it the one we just did?
Yeah, I'll send it right to you. Okay. If you, it's not an organizational spreadsheet. It's really just an anatomy of a deal.
It was really Jack and I's power meeting yesterday that I about fell over because I looked at this screen. I got to tell you, I'm looking at a different monitor and I'm like, oh, you're sharing our meeting. But that was our meeting yesterday, and really trying to fine tune. I'll tell her, this was our meeting yesterday. There are 18 things that I want to release right now in 2017. I can't. We don't have the manpower. So we're like, all right, or 2017, I see the right year. Anyway, so I'm like, what can we still get done in 2017? What's the most worthwhile? What's going to save us the most amount of time and the most amount of money? And that's what we are focusing on right now. So
I'm going to stop you, Jill, for a second. We are going to go over in time, and it's fine. But
Okay.
There was a point to I did have like a little presentation for this.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. I'm sorry.
If you go to landinvestors.com, the front page, I put a little widget over here, and you click on it and you can download this. If you're doing a deal with an investor, if you want to impress the heck out of them or you want to attract investors to do your deal, use this analysis. It's pretty cool. You quite simply input. So this is for, let's say you've got a great deal you want to do and you're the manager, but you don't have the money to do the deal, or you've got 22 deals and you want to attract investors, money guys. The more and more I'm getting this question, which is why I put this together today. Your acquisition price, this is a real deal that somebody brought to me today on a call. The acquisition price is $2,000. Sales price, the closing costs for that are $500, and this easy sale price, wholesale sale price for a piece of dirt is $20,000 with the closing costs of that. And the manager is going to fund nothing. He just found the deal, like a lot of you do, like we do. And the investor, the money guys, 100%. So all you got to do is fill in these, what I think it's 6 or 7 units, and then how you're going to split the profit. So the proceeds, the manager's going to make 50%, and the owner's going to make 50%. And then it calculates this all the way down. So you can see it generates a gross proceed of $17,000. You each make $8,500, and then the cash distribution to the manager, the person who put the deal together, is this. And the investor distribution is 11. So it's a real organized, intelligent way to just drop numbers in, see how much money you're going to make, and adjust your sale price. Like, here's a deal that Jill and I might do. $500,000 purchase price, $900,000 sale price on a ranch. $5,000 to close the deal on that side, and $3,500 on this side. We're going to put in no money. The investor's going to put in 100, and we're going to split it. So we each will earn proceeds of $200,000 each, but the investor will get, because of the money that they put in, a $500,000 paycheck on the way out. I'm sorry, $700,000 paycheck on the way out, and we just get 200. So it's a real good, simple organizational way. I put this for anyone and everyone to use. Just go to landinvestors.com. It's right down here in the widget. You click on it and download it, and use it however you need to use it.
That's very nice.
We have lots and lots of people getting together. Money people, many money people now are contacting us saying, I really, truly want to get involved, but I have no interest in any way in learning how to send out mailers and stuff and dealing with the phone calls. Mm-hmm. So it's a good thing. Land Crowdfund will address this. This is one piece of Land Crowdfund. So my whole goal on landcrowdfund.com is on each side, every single transaction is presented exactly the same way. The only variable is the purchase price and the sale price.
Mm-hmm. Cool. I'm cool going over. We're going to keep going.
I'm totally
okay.
Cool.
Whoever wants to hang in there, we'll go over and get through all these. Tomas added that the short sale process is a pain. Yes, it is. All right.
If you've never done a foreclosure or been involved in one, I mean, lawyers love it because it just go on forever. Mm-hmm. I mean, as an investor, what we're used to doubling our money and getting in and getting out, or making 10 or 20 grand on a house or a ranch deal, 2 private parties with no lender getting together, that's the bomb. Foreclosures are incredibly difficult, and everybody's angry.
Mm-hmm. Steve asks, I just got a signed option for 100 acres at $45,000 because more than original offer price per acre amount I offered, which was more than amount. So I would test the market for 95 days on an option. All right. This may end up being my first closing, and was wondering on the mechanics of double closing it, and if any term type of deals are possible to structure on this type of sale, or only cash deals make sense.
To answer the last part of it, only cash deals really make sense for the way that this is structured. Unless you do what's called a wrap, and you don't want to get into that, believe me. So really cash deals only. And what you want to do immediately, if you have it under contract, is find a local title company that'll honor a dual type closing and open escrow with them. And they'll walk you through the process, and then get on Land Investors and ask everybody about it. They'll help you out. Mm-hmm. Sounds good, though.
Yeah, it's great. Greg asks, Also, by the way, ParcelFact and the other data tools through Land Academy, make me look like a pro, even though this was deal number 1. I found a mistake by the county clerk, thank you, on one of the 4 APNs who owned it. It did not get in the way of doing the deal because I was able to verify all the supporting documents and verify that it was just a clerical error by the county. Thank you very much. That should be cleaned up through title. Thank you, Jack and Jill. That's awesome. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg, actually, because you've hooked us up with a relationship at a payment company that's the back end of Jill Pay, and that's actually going to pay out. So
awesome.
Touche, man. Awesome. Thank you. I'm glad this is working out for you. I remember we talked on the phone one time. We were in Santa Barbara. And we pulled a car over. Remember? We bought that angel artwork thing. That was Greg.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Got it. Yep. Cool. He's on Facebook. David said he's on Facebook. That's where you've seen him. I think I might have talked to this. I don't know. Because if he has a podcast show, Howard Sonder. I don't know. But let me ask him first. But I'm just betting. Okay. Exactly. Just enough to escalate. Okay. Peter says or asks, Zillow works for seeing past sales on houses to see sold prices. Do they do well with rural land sales, or is there a better resource to see rural land past sales?
Somebody asked me this exact question today. Thank you. I don't like Zillow and Trulia for historic land sales because you have to have an address. So that stops a lot of people from posting on Trulia and Zillow. So what the completed sales that you're getting are not real accurate data. The first place that I go for the best completed sales are RealQuest. You already bought the data. You might as well check it out there. I use now in more urban areas. We use it for what we do right now. It's perfect. We use Redfin. That's fantastic completed sale data. And then there's you can call the county and get creative. But on top of that, maybe MLS is good. But the real deal is that honestly, I don't use completed sales ever for pricing. There's too many weird things in completed sales. I sold it to my brother-in-law. I deeded it to my sister for nothing. I quit claim deeded it to my sister for $1. That gets recorded as a completed sale and starts to skew everything really bad. The best place to use pricing information is regular for sale property, and then look at days on market. If you got a lot of for sale property that's 20, 30 days on market, and then it just disappears, man, that's good. You're going to move it.
Yep.
I wish I had a more scientific, algorithmic type answer to that. But you have to get experience, a lot of saddle time. You just have to look at it and try stuff.
Thank you. I forgot who my anonymous was here, but thank you. Kevin.
It was a Podio guy.
Okay. Kevin asked, hey, Kevin, I'm buying 2 40-acre parcels that are adjacent. They're both on one vesting deed. Great. The deed has a crazy legal description that goes something like blah, 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 except for 2.3 acres to Smith.
Oh, no.
Oh, my gosh. And except for 1.0 acre each to Roscoe and Taylor. Man. This goes on for a whole paragraph and ends with a total of 37.75 acres. Then it does the same type of description for the second property. To make it more interesting, the county has the data screwed up so badly that the assessor couldn't find the parcel maps on their GIS, but the owner had a session with the actual mapping guy who found the parcels. I am buying 83 acres for $12,000, and I'm nervous about the actual boundaries. I normally don't care, but this could be tricky. Should I spend a little over $1,000 on a surveyor to do a boundary survey on these? Normally I tell my buyer to go do this own survey after purchase, but I'm concerned about stepping on toes on nearby properties because I can't tell where Roscoe and Taylor are. So darn funny.
I gotta say, I mean, I know what we would do, and we would just walk. But I don't know, if you can make a ton of money on this thing, I would definitely not close this transaction outside of title. I would use the title company to close it, and I would be interested to see. Your
Kevin's idea? I mean, okay, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
Because I'm not against your idea, Kevin. This is where we might differ. I'm not against your idea, Kevin, and as long because I know now it's going to cost $1,000. So I need to, but I am going to factor that in my whole transaction here because I need to know that I might be spending $1,000 down the road if nobody gets excited about these properties to go have this, surveyed. You know,
well, he doesn't know where the boundaries are right now, and the county assessor can't find it either.
But we have
there's like 9 flags here.
We have an actual mapping guy who found the parcels, but we can't get that technical. So here's my thing. We're pretty darn close, but not exact is what I'm guessing. So I would budget the $1,000 period. Let's assume I'm going to have to spend that. B, might I pass that through to somebody else? Maybe. I don't know. You don't like that idea?
The Roscoe Taylor thing concerns me more than the boundaries. The boundaries are the boundaries.
Yeah.
So, I've seen these legal descriptions like this before. We own all the property except 1 acre. That goes to my sister. It's right in the legal description. Mm-hmm. You used to be able to do that kind of crazy stuff.
So funny.
So that stuff really concerns me. I would actually talk to a lawyer, or not a lawyer. I would open escrow on this deal. I would make the escrow agent make sure that they're local and they have a lot of experience with land. And I would ask a question just like you asked it to us and see what they say. Chances are they're not going to insure it. That's a massive red flag.
Oh, without that done? All right, then that's cool. Then that'll solve that.
Not the survey. Oh. No one cares. There's 2 huge issues here. Number 1, where's the property? What's the survey? And number 2, who's Roscoe and Taylor?
Yeah, we can't get Roscoe and Taylor off of there, can we?
Right. They're in the legal description.
Yeah, shucks. Wish we can get Roscoe and Taylor out of there.
I hate to be negative, but usually we plow through this stuff.
I know.
But this is pretty serious.
All right. What else do you have? You know what, Kevin? What's number 2 and 3 and 4 on your list? Because I know you have a big list.
I know he's got a ton of. I would go to number 2.
And this is a good thing for everyone. This is a conversation you have to have with yourself all the time. Like even right now, there's part of me that would say, I've already spent too much time on this.
Yeah.
Right?
Right, Jill.
I've already invested too much time. I'm moving on to my other ones on my list.
Send some more mail out.
Thank you. And I can do 2 deals and make more money than this 1 deal. And they were 2 easy deals. I'm good with that kind of thing. So, okay. Dan, hi. I'm referring to keeping track. Okay, Dan said, sorry. I'm referring to keeping track of deeds coming in and money going out and coming back, who's sending what to who, what has been paid, who owes who, etc. That kind of tracking.
Sounds like what goes on our kitchen table in the morning.
It kind of does.
Did you pay that guy? No, I didn't pay that guy. I thought you were going to pay that guy.
No,
I'm not going to pay him.
How can you have so much money over there?
Why do you have? You're having more fun than me.
This is like when Michelle.
Dad.
Wait. Was Michelle still on the call? No, he's not. Darn. This is like Michelle shared with us one time. He was doing a podcast with us. And he said, I'm so glad that we did this podcast because it made me sit down and do the math, like you're exact talking about right now, Dan. Michelle said, I hadn't sat down for the year, and it was like 90 days in, and really done the math. And he goes, I didn't know how I made that much money. And I didn't tell my wife. So,
I don't feel rich.
Exactly. He's like,
I don't feel like this whole program's working.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it does work.
I didn't know I had that much. So
no, that's all kidding aside. That's what a CRM's for, and I understand your point.
I know. Exactly. All right.
I wish we had a better answer.
I know. All right. Merritt asked, hey, Merritt, FYI, Jack and Jill, I ordered data from 3 counties, 4,000 or so parcels. Nice. And 7/2. And it doesn't appear I've been charged, possibly in delay in being charged, or the captain strikes again. Learning moment for me. Sorry, I'm late for the call. Thanks, Merritt.
We'll check that out. We balance that to the cent.
I oversee that.
But thank you for saying that.
7/2. I wonder how many credit cards you have out there. I wonder if we billed the wrong credit card or something too. So
we literally track it to the cent. So I'm surprised. But thank you.
Wonder who else just bought your data. Just kidding. Maybe we did. All right. I'm joking. Thank you, Merritt. David said, sorry, podium stuff was for me. Okay. And then you might answer this last one for Tomas. Tomas asked, when pricing, do you go for 40% of the lowest price close sales on like-sized lots? There we go.
I'm so glad you asked that question, and I'm so glad that we're actually probably going to end on that. This has been coming up. I get lots of questions about this exact topic. So when we started Land Academy in late 2015, I instructed everyone to say this to address this exact point the way that Tomas has just done it. You take 40% of the lowest price on the internet for like-kind property. Well, it turns out nearly every single property that's priced out there, because people do an incredible job in our group, ends up being a Land Academy Land Investors member. So if we continually go for 40% of the lowest priced property, eventually it's going to be zero. So what I'm saying now is, in life, you have to constantly adjust. You apply some common sense. So if the lowest priced property in Southern Arizona and County X is $5,000 and all the rest of the property is priced at $20,000, before the Land Academy membership started, we would be pricing it at 40% of $20,000 or maybe whatever the number ends up being, but some version of that. So pay special attention to that lone rogue lowest price piece of property, because if you go in 40% of that, a lot of times you're going to be priced too low. Again, I wish I had an algorithmic, black or white answer, but pricing is 50% art and 50% math in analytics. Mm-hmm. There, you have to kind of feel it. So be careful of that super lowest price property. And if they're a pro user in landinvestors.com and they have all the lowest price property, you're going to have to reprice it accordingly. Mm-hmm. Again, I wish I had a better answer.
It's all good. You're good.
What are you doing, Jill?
I don't know.
What are you doing?
Well, okay, I will tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to share right now what I'm doing.
She just cracked me up. Really cracked me up. If I say more than 3 sentences in a row, Jill's gone. Total ADD, spousal ADD.
No, there's somebody on this call, and I was trying to give him a shout out to say hi on the call. And in case you all didn't notice, it's Aaron. And our Aaron was doing some other stuff for a few months. And Aaron is with us. Hey, everyone. Aaron is the head of Landpin, FYI.
Oh, gosh.
What?
No, they're going to barrage her.
No. Yeah, please don't break Aaron's email or blow up her phone. But, and for people who are new to us, Aaron is a rock star. Aaron has been with us for years. And Aaron is now the head of the director, managing director, whatever, I don't know what her title is, but she's the head of Landpin. And, I'm going to share something else. Aaron's about to flip the switch to make it open to the public. So get ready. You're going to see
get ready for some massive exposure.
Aaron and I just talked today. She's like, what's my marketing budget? We're talking about that today. So, what she's going to roll out with and all that good stuff. So Landpin is going to get really busy really fast, and Aaron oversees it. So thank you, Aaron. We're glad that you are here and glad that you're here on this call. So that's all.
Hey, thanks for joining us. We will be here at the exact same time next week. Have a great acquisitions week. Bye.
Bye.